Most SUV buyers don't realize that reliability isn't just about engines lasting a long time or transmissions shifting smoothly. In 2026, reliability means surviving an era of rushed redesigns, fragile electronics, untested hybrid systems, and vehicles filled with more software than steel. It means avoiding the SUVs that look modern but behave like prototypes. It means choosing models built with engineering discipline instead of marketing pressure. And this year, the gap between dependable SUVs and disastrous ones is wider than ever. That's why this list matters. These aren't just reliable SUVs. These are the 7 SUVs that will give you zero regrets in 2026. Models with proven durability, predictable maintenance costs, and real-world owner experiences that point toward trouble-free ownership for 10 to 15 years. If you're tired of hearing about catastrophic turbo failures, hybrid battery meltdowns, or transmissions that grenade themselves right after the warranty ends, these are the SUVs you can count on. And if you're planning to buy anything this year, watching until number 1 may save you thousands of dollars in repairs and a lifetime of stress. Let's begin. Number 7, the 2026 Subaru Forester. Subaru has never tried to compete with luxury brands or performance SUVs. They don't chase horsepower, massive touchscreens, or headline-grabbing features. Instead, Subaru focuses on something far more valuable: engineering consistency. While other brands rework their engines every cycle, Subaru quietly refines the same formula: a naturally aspirated flat-4 engine, a symmetrical all-wheel drive system, and a CVT that the company has spent over a decade improving. The Forester is not designed to impress you on day one. That's why owners routinely hit 150,000 to 200,000 miles without catastrophic failures. Its non-turbo engine eliminates the most common modern reliability risks. No turbochargers to overheat, no high-pressure injection systems to clog, no overcomplicated hybrid electronics to short out in cold weather. The Forester's CVT, once criticized, has matured into one of the most predictable and stable units in the segment. Subaru learned from the early 2013-2015 issues, reinforcing critical components and refining the hydraulic control systems. Then comes the structural integrity. Few mainstream SUVs have the rollover protection, crash stability, and chassis rigidity Subaru builds into every Forester. The brand may not advertise it loudly, but industry safety engineers know the truth. Subarus are overbuilt for safety. That over-engineering translates directly into long-term dependability because the vehicle doesn't flex, warp, twist, or age the way cheaper platforms do. And here's something most buyers don't realize. The Forester's electrical system is deliberately simple. Subaru avoided the temptation to load the Forester with fragile first-generation tech. So while many modern SUVs suffer from failing radar sensors, glitchy ADAS modules, and touchscreen paralysis, the Forester just works. No drama, no overthinking, just a dependable SUV built the old-school way through refinement, not reinvention. It may not be the flashiest SUV on the market, but in terms of long-term peace of mind, it punches far above its price. Number 6, the 2026 Honda CR-V Hybrid. In an era where hybrid systems are becoming frighteningly complex, Honda took a different path. They made theirs simple. While rival brands chase performance hybrid bragging rights, Honda uses a hybrid architecture built on decades of slow, careful refinement. And that's why the CR-V Hybrid has emerged as one of the most reliable hybrids ever sold. There's no turbocharger pushing the system to its limits. No multi-motor e-drives overloaded with torque requests, no fragile dual-clutch transmissions pretending to be futuristic. Instead, Honda uses a 2-motor hybrid setup with a simple planetary gear design and an engine that's barely stressed at all. This system has already proven itself globally across millions of vehicles, and the real-world numbers speak for themselves. Fewer failures, fewer warranty claims, and an old-school Honda sense of mechanical longevity that almost no hybrid competitor can match. But the 2026 CR-V also benefits from Honda's conservative technological philosophy. When you sit inside, nothing feels experimental. The climate system is physical. The electronics aren't tied to a single computer that can black out the entire cabin. Honda famously avoids being first with technology because they know what their customers value: predictability. They don't push bleeding-edge innovations just to brag about them. They wait until a system is mature, bulletproof, and ready for decades of use. That's why the CR-V Hybrid's resale value is elite, and why mechanics routinely describe it as the hybrid that doesn't scare us. But the real advantage comes in long-term ownership. While other hybrid crossovers experience battery cooling issues, inverter failures, or software disconnects between the engine and electric drive, the CR-V Hybrid thrives in simplicity. It doesn't promise record acceleration, it promises dependability and delivers. With fuel economy that stays consistent even as the vehicle ages and a powertrain that's nearly impossible to overwhelm, the CR-V Hybrid earns its place as one of the most regret-proof SUVs you can buy in 2026. Number 5, the Toyota 4Runner. In an automotive world spinning toward fragility and complexity, the 4Runner is a stubborn holdout, and that's exactly why it's so reliable. While everyone else pushes turbos, 9-speed automatics, 48-volt systems, and touchscreen-dependent everything, the 4Runner marches into 2026 using an engine architecture that has barely changed in over a decade. And that's not a weakness, it's a weapon. The 4Runner's 4.0-liter V6 is one of the most indestructible engines Toyota has ever built. There are no turbos to cook themselves after 60,000 miles, no carbon-heavy direct injection system starving the engine of airflow, no thin aluminum blocks that warp when overheated. The 1GR FE V6 has powered hundreds of thousands of Toyotas across the world in some of the most abusive environments possible: deserts, mountains, jungles, and fleets. It is battle-tested in a way modern SUVs simply aren't. Then comes the transmission. While many modern SUVs use complex 8 and 9-speed automatics with razor-thin tolerances, the 4Runner uses a 5-speed gearbox engineered for reliability first and efficiency second. Yes, it's old, yes, it's slow, but that simplicity is why these trucks routinely hit 250,000 miles with nothing more than fluid changes. Owners don't choose the 4Runner for tech, they choose it because they know exactly what they're getting. A body-on-frame SUV with mechanical systems built for durability, not marketing brochures. And in 2026, when repair costs are skyrocketing and even minor electrical failures can cost thousands, the 4Runner's consistency becomes priceless. And this is just the beginning. The top 4 SUVs on this list aren't just reliable, they're engineered to outlive every major reliability trend in the industry. They have bulletproof hybrid systems, legendary powertrains, and ownership histories that prove they're built for a decade or more of trouble-free use. The next models will take reliability to a level most modern SUVs can't reach, and by the time we get to number 1, you'll understand exactly why some vehicles are worth paying more for. Number 4, the Lexus GX 550. This is the point in the countdown where reliability stops being a feature and becomes a philosophy. The all-new GX 550 may look like a modern luxury SUV, but underneath the sharp edges, LED lighting, and premium touches is the soul of a Toyota Land Cruiser, a vehicle family with one of the strongest durability reputations on the planet. Lexus didn't rush this redesign, they didn't gamble on futuristic drivetrains or experimental transmissions. Instead, they built the GX with the exact kind of engineering discipline that Toyota's reputation was built on. The twin-turbo 3.4-liter V6 powering the GX isn't just any engine, it's part of Toyota's global truck architecture designed not for mall parking lots, but for harsh environments where maintenance is limited and failure can be life-threatening. This engine has already been tested across markets requiring extreme durability. The Middle East, Australia, Southeast Asia, where hot weather, heavy loads, and long distances expose weak designs instantly. But this V6 doesn't flinch. Paired with a robust 10-speed automatic, the system prioritizes thermal stability and lubrication integrity, the two key factors that kill most modern turbo engines. That means fewer overheating cycles, fewer bearing failures, fewer wastegate issues, and drastically longer service life. But what makes the GX exceptional isn't just the drivetrain, it's the approach. Lexus refused to include air suspension, one of the most common failure points on luxury SUVs, unless absolutely necessary. They avoided overly complex hybrid systems in favor of proven, high-endurance mechanical systems, and they engineered the electrical architecture with modular segments, meaning that if one system fails, it won't cascade into a full vehicle shutdown the way it does on many German luxury models. It's the opposite of modern automotive fragility. Add the ladder frame chassis for increased longevity, the thick structural steel Toyota is known for, and the conservative tuning of every system, and the result is a luxury SUV built not for the next 5 years, but for the next 15. Global Land Cruisers routinely reach 300,000 miles. The GX 550 inherits that DNA. It's the rare luxury SUV designed to outlive its own trend cycle. Number 3, the Toyota Highlander Hybrid. At this point, you may be noticing a pattern. Toyota hybrids show up repeatedly whenever long-term reliability is discussed. That's because Toyota has spent more than 20 years refining hybrid technology while most competitors are on their first or second generation. And the Highlander Hybrid is one of the strongest examples of Toyota's advantage. Look at the engineering basics. The Highlander Hybrid uses a naturally aspirated Atkinson cycle engine, a design that prioritizes low stress, low cylinder pressure, and low thermal load. In simple terms, this engine is built to run cool and clean, dramatically reducing wear over time. No turbocharger means no oil coking, no intercooler failures, no overboost stress, no turbo seizure, all common issues for modern mid-size SUVs. Instead, the engine simply exists in a state of mechanical calm, supported by an electric system that absorbs most of the workload. Then there's the hybrid system itself. Toyota's electric motors use a magnetic design that has remained consistent for years because it's already nearly flawless. The power split device, the heart of the hybrid system, has an astronomical reliability record. And the battery cooling system is one of the most advanced and least failure-prone designs ever put into a consumer vehicle. These systems aren't just durable, they're overbuilt. Real-world results don't lie. Highlander hybrids regularly cross 200,000 miles without major component replacement. Taxi and rideshare drivers prefer the Highlander hybrid because it doesn't break down, even when pushed harder than most SUVs ever are. You'll find Highlander hybrids running through brutal winters in Canada, scorching summers in Arizona, and humid climates in Florida with equal consistency. Few modern vehicles can claim that level of environmental immunity. But here's the part that makes the Highlander hybrid a zero-regrets purchase. The maintenance costs are microscopic. No alternator failures, no starter motor replacement, no traditional transmission fluid issues. The system eliminates dozens of potential failure points. You're left with a powertrain designed for longevity while saving money at every step. And in 2026, when repair bills can cripple your budget, the Highlander hybrid becomes not just a great SUV, but a financial strategy. Number 2, the Lexus RX. If the Highlander hybrid is the practical choice, the RX is its luxury evolution, and it's the most reliable luxury SUV ever built. That's not exaggeration, it's history. The RX has dominated long-term dependability rankings for more than 2 decades, consistently earning top marks from J.D. Power, Consumer Reports, owners, and automotive technicians. And the latest generation doesn't abandon that legacy, it expands it. Where most luxury brands chase cutting-edge innovation, Lexus stays rooted in consistency and restraint. Their engines are deliberately understressed. Their hybrid components are tuned conservatively. Their transmissions prioritize smoothness and longevity over razor-sharp performance, and their software systems are simple enough to avoid the catastrophic electrical failures found in European rivals. So the RX isn't competing with BMW or Mercedes in horsepower. It's competing in something far more important: long-term ownership. Owners regularly report 150,000 to 250,000 trouble-free miles. Lexus dealers consistently see older RX models coming in for nothing more than routine maintenance, fluid changes, brake pads, tires. No chronic engine faults, no brittle wiring harnesses, no air suspension nightmares, no cascading electrical failures that turn the vehicle into a 6-figure paperweight. And now let's talk about cost of ownership. While European luxury SUVs can cost thousands per year in repairs, the RX's cost curve is shockingly low. Even after warranties expire, independent shops can service most components cheaply because Toyota engineering avoids unnecessary complexity. The RX is a luxury SUV you can pass down to your kids, something that simply cannot be said about most modern premium vehicles. But the number 1 SUV on this list takes everything you've heard so far and elevates it. It doesn't just outperform its competition, it embarrasses them. It offers the lowest failure rates, the highest resale value, the most proven hybrid system, and the greatest long-term stability of any SUV sold in North America. It is, without exaggeration, the safest automotive bet of 2026. And once you hear what makes this SUV so dominant, why its reliability data is almost unreal, you'll understand why mechanics recommend it more often than any other model. Number 1, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. If the Lexus RX is the luxury benchmark and the Highlander hybrid is the family workhorse, the RAV4 hybrid is the undisputed champion of real-world reliability. The SUV that mechanics quietly recommend above everything else, the SUV that consistently ranks near the top of long-term dependability charts, and the SUV that hundreds of thousands of owners describe with the same phrase: it just never breaks. And that's not luck, it's engineering discipline. The RAV4 hybrid doesn't rely on gimmicks. It doesn't impress you with horsepower numbers or oversized touchscreens. It doesn't need a marketing campaign to convince buyers of its durability. The data speaks louder than any commercial. Toyota has been refining hybrid technology for more than 2 decades, and the RAV4 hybrid is the ultimate expression of that experience. But the heart of the RAV4 hybrid is Toyota's 4th generation hybrid system, one of the most reliable powertrains ever sold. The electric motors are engineered with oversized bearings and robust cooling pathways that keep temperatures stable under loads that would overheat lesser systems. The power split device, Toyota's crown jewel of hybrid engineering, eliminates the need for a conventional automatic transmission, removing one of the most failure-prone components in modern SUVs. There are no shift solenoids to seize, no clutch packs to burn out, no torque converters to shudder. The system doesn't shift gears, it simply flows. And the gasoline engine, the naturally aspirated Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder. No turbo stress, no superchargers, no forced induction, no delicate high-pressure systems. This engine is almost impossible to destroy. It's not built for excitement, it's built for survival. Thousands of RAV4 hybrids have crossed 200,000 miles with their original engines and batteries. Many have reached 300,000 with nothing more than routine maintenance. That kind of longevity is almost unheard of in the modern SUV market. But the real secret weapon of the RAV4 hybrid is its battery strategy. While many competitors push experimental battery chemistries to squeeze out more power or range, Toyota uses a conservative nickel-metal hydride setup that prioritizes longevity over performance. These batteries don't overheat easily, they don't degrade rapidly, and they don't depend on fragile cooling systems that fail in cold climates. Toyota has spent years fine-tuning the thermal management to keep the battery in its optimal range, even in harsh winter conditions where most electric systems struggle. The result is a powertrain with failure rates so low that independent shops often joke they never see RAV4 hybrids unless it's for an oil change. And that's not an exaggeration. Owner forums are filled with stories of drivers who have owned multiple Toyotas, switched to the RAV4 hybrid, and realized they barely had to think about maintenance anymore. Rideshare drivers choose it for the same reason taxi fleets choose Prius models. The cost per mile is almost unbeatable. There are no catastrophic repair costs hiding behind a fancy warranty, no surprise $4,000 inverter failures, no $8,000 transmission jobs. The RAV4 hybrid keeps your savings in your pocket where they belong. But what truly sets the RAV4 hybrid apart in 2026 is that the entire industry is moving in the opposite direction. While Toyota sticks to proven methods, competitors are taking massive risks. Turbocharged engines pushed well beyond their safe limits, 9 and 10-speed transmissions that hunt endlessly for the right gear, overcomplicated 48-volt mild hybrid systems with failure-prone lithium battery packs, first-generation EV technology hiding behind glossy marketing. These are engineering gambles, and many buyers don't discover the consequences until the warranty expires. So the RAV4 hybrid avoids every one of those traps. It's not trying to be revolutionary, it's trying to be unbreakable. Even the electrical architecture is designed with reliability in mind. Toyota purposely avoids integrating too many systems into a single control unit, reducing the risk of a full vehicle shutdown if one module fails. That's a problem plaguing modern SUVs. One bad sensor can break the entire car. Toyota engineered the RAV4 hybrid so that individual systems can fail without dragging the whole vehicle down with them. It's a level of redundancy most manufacturers simply don't prioritize. And that brings us to the ownership costs, the hidden part of the story most dealerships won't tell you about. The RAV4 hybrid holds its value better than almost any SUV in its class. It's consistently ranked in the top tier of resale value with depreciation curves that almost defy industry norms. Buyers know the RAV4 hybrid is a safe bet, so used models command premium prices, and that protects your investment even years down the line. Now here's the part that truly matters. The RAV4 hybrid isn't just the most reliable SUV on this list, it's one of the most reliable vehicles ever produced, period. Countless mechanics and industry experts consider it the default recommendation for anyone wanting long-term dependability without sacrificing practicality. And in 2026, with vehicle complexity reaching new heights and repair costs climbing to historic levels, that's exactly what most buyers need. But before we move into the final section of this video, and before I give you the mindset you need to avoid unreliable SUVs completely, I want to speak directly to those still watching. If you've made it this far, you're clearly someone who cares about making informed decisions. You don't want marketing hype, you want the truth. And I'm here to give it to you every single week. If you want breakdowns like this, deep dives into reliability data, and warnings that can save you thousands of dollars, make sure you're subscribed. It's how you stay ahead of the market instead of becoming another buyer stuck with a vehicle that falls apart when you need it most.